Hello everybody, and welcome to Amateur Cast. We're getting you and your replays to be casted for my entertainment, and hopefully to help you improve a little bit as well. I am your host, ZookaMan, and we're going to be going into a TVT. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our players. In the 9-10 o'clock position on the map, merry-go-round, we have Jacobo. And he's going to be spawning in as the red player. He's going to be playing the Terran race. And his opponent in the bottom 6 o'clock-ish position, we have NinjaDuckBob as our blue Terran player. He's going to be the hero of our replay. Now, let's talk a little bit about the TVT matchup in itself. As a matchup, I don't mind TVT. It's not my favorite matchup by far, but that's probably because in low levels TVT isn't exactly the most interesting. And granted, it has gotten more interesting since Heart of the Storm came out and we got more units, more compositions, but it's still kind of a static matchup that is a little bit stale in the low levels. In the higher levels, you can see a lot of interesting play and a lot of really good control, and that helps a lot with the enjoyment factor of it. So it's a so-so matchup at the end of the day, and I enjoy it. It's just sometimes it can get a bit stale when you see the same bio versus bio thing all the time, and all that fun stuff. Regardless, we're going to be seeing both players going for barracks at the same time, pretty much standard. And I expect at least the openings are going to be very similar between these two players. I'm kind of interested to see what the differentiation is between the two of them. But talking a little bit about NinjaDuckBob and the play that he's had, because I have casted a couple of his games on my channel in the past, I know that he prefers the mech play. At least I know he prefers the mech play in against Zerg, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him do it up against Protoss as well. So maybe we'll see mech play here. Of course, bio is always a thing as well. Well, I have to take a look and keep an eye out for that. Oh, okay, I completely lost my train of thought there. I had something really good on the top of my head. Regardless, factories are going to be finishing up right about now. We have one little marine, a couple little marines, just kind of sitting a little bit vigilant over there, making sure that no SCV comes up into the main base at any point whatsoever. It's going to be a 1-1-1 from Jacobo into, it looks like, probably Banshees, because we do have a tech up on the factory, which is probably going to get a switcheroo for the starport, and then we'll see Cloak and the Banshee on the way. As for NinjaDuckBob, it looks like he's going to be doing something a little bit different. He's going to be going for a tech lab on his barracks to move around with the factory. So he's going to be moving up into probably siege tanks as opposed to his opponent's Banshee play. And that's a little bit dangerous because Banshees generally are pretty darn decent against tanks, and you don't have a lot of really early anti-air. It can be a bit difficult to be able to defend against them. Yeah, we're going to be seeing Cloaking come out. One thing I want to say here, guys, going off on a little bit of a tangent, the best thing about being a caster is when you get something right. It's so rewarding. Back to the cast anyways. We're going to be seeing a Hellion versus Hellion fight. Who will win? Oh no, one Hellion decided to go get some backup from his marine friends, and the other one ran away saying, "You betrayed me!" Anyways, we're going to be seeing a CC on his way from NinjaDuckBob. No CC as of yet for Jacobo, so this Banshee play might be able to slip into the cracks of the armor of NinjaDuckBob and might be able to catch him off a little bit here, so to speak. There's going to be a lot of SCVs here, and not a whole lot of units for this expansion. So NinjaDuckBob is going to be in a little bit of a disadvantage as far as this Banshee goes, and I really hope he has some sort of defense up against that, because the worst feeling in the world as a player is to realize that, oh hey, my opponent did the thing that I had no defense against. He's going to scan. He's going to be seeing that this is a Banshee opening, or at least that there's a starport up. He might suspect a medevac drop, but at this point, seeing the starport up this early is most likely going to be very quick drops or Banshee play, and Banshee play is probably going to be the more prevalent of the two. We're already getting a couple of turrets up to defend against this. Very, very good reaction from NinjaDuckBob, so he will have pretty good defense against this. It's going to snipe off 2 workers, but both the missile turrets are going to finish up, and together they will take down the Banshee Menace. Sounds a little bit like a movie, The Banshee Menace. Like the Phantom Menace, but only better. If that's like that's really difficult to do. Anyways, we're going to be seeing Starport on its way from NinjaDuckBob, so he's going to be able to get out medevacs, so we can do stuff like heal our units. And that's fantastic. Healing units are always a good thing. We're going to be going on to Triple Factory here, too, with a reactor, so we probably are going to be seeing a very heavy mechanical side of things. Does this necessarily mean he's going to be going full on mech? No, he could be doing a biomech hybrid with more with a lot of widow mines, for example, or maybe a lot of early game Hellions, but normally you would see this go up into that. We could be seeing something along the lines of maybe a Hellbat. We do have that armory on the way, of course. That could just be for upgrades as well. Steam has now been started to research from Jacobo, so he'll be able to get things on his units so that his bio units can stim. They take their drugs, man. They're important drugs. Let's take a look over here on the Harvester tab. We have 2734 right now. There is going to be a drop play coming out with this double tank power. Jacobo wants to take out as much as he possibly can. Go, 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 Jacobo, go, go. He's going to be getting into simulator. I am playing Protoss so much lately. A reactor, or no, I don't even know, a reactor refinery. There we go. NinjaDuckBob is going to be pulling back here to help defend against this. Does have some tanks set up with a couple of SUVs here to help defend against them. And that should push this away slowly but surely. But there was damage that got done here. 7 workers killed. Ain't too shabby. Make that 8 because one SUV just kind of exploded on his own widow mine. Those things don't necessarily know the extent of friendly fire. In any case, Sim is about 3/4 of the way done. Natural expansion is starting to get up and operational for our Red Terran player. It is already up and operational for NinjaDuckBob, but he took quite a bit of damage there in the economy. He's still going to be a little bit ahead, though. 31-29 in his favor, obviously. And we're going to be seeing upgrades started adding on here from both of our players. Drilling Claw is going to be one of those upgrades that are blue player ones, which means we're probably going to be seeing Widow Mine play of any sort. We might be seeing something like a... Oh, could we be seeing a Widow Mine drop? Ooh, that would be very interesting. I'd love to see a Widow Mine drop. Widow Mine drops are always so powerful if you can get them in. Not necessarily as much against Terran because they can scan really easily, but if you can get them in like especially in like TVZ, if you can get Widow Mines in the main base, it can do a lot of damage to drones. And in its own right, it can do a lot of damage against Terran and Protoss as well. In any case, combat shields are going to be taken out now. We're probably going to see that followed up with concussive shells, and then he'll have all the upgrades on the bio, the special upgrades, excuse me, on the bio, which, you know, hey, take what you want. That's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what player you're rooting for at this point. Jacobo is going to be moving out across the map right now. There is going to be a scan right on top of his army as he's moving out. So NinjaDuckBob does know that this is coming out. He has a wealth of Widow Mines back home to defend against this as well. A couple of siege tanks as well. I don't see him being in trouble anytime soon. He's going to make slight readjustments before the army manages to get there. what Medevac is going to use to scout out here is going to start to put out his siege tanks to try and get a little bit of vision on the high ground. He is, of course, going to be able to put a medevac up there and get a bit more damage. And he's going to go for a drop play, which I definitely do agree with, considering the NinjaDuckBob is very much centered in the front here and not necessarily protected on the side. Here comes Jacobo up into the main base. He's going to take off quite a bit of damage. He's going to go straight for the 4 medevac elevator. And he's going to decide to... Looks like he might have gone for the middle line there. He's going to take a couple of extra siege tank shots, but that in itself is going to take a lot of damage. A lot of billion explosions from those Widow Mines going to be going off onto the medevacs, and I think that's really going to be extremely helpful from here. Jacobo is going to be going for the scan on top of the Widow Mines so that he can get a little bit of extra damage. But the Widow Mines are going to be slowly advancing, and actually they're doing quite a bit of damage, chewing apart the army of Jacobo. Actually, lots and lots of damage getting dealt out here. That is a lot of Widow Mines. Holy Widow Mine! We are up to 18 Widow Mines, guys. Jeez. So Jacobo is going to take damage from that fight. So he's going to have a little bit of a disadvantage as far as that's concerned. That's not what I want to do. I keep bringing that up. Worker supply is about dead even right now, so their economies are pretty much on the same level, so to speak. Of course, NinjaDuckBob is going to be having a little bit more difficulty spending than Jacobo, but he doesn't have the hit A to remax his army kind of button thing here. Third base is on its way from Jacobo. Would love to see a third base drop down here from NinjaDuckBob, because this kind of play costs a lot of gas, and having as much gas as possible is always a good idea when approaching mech play. Starport is going to be laid down up in the main base. That's probably going to be for another reactor. It could be for a tech lab into maybe Ravens? One Widow Mine is going to get the shot off on the drop in the main base. Now the drop is going to come straight over to that refinery. Actually, the pickup units in the medevac is going to take a lot of damage from that missile turret. Jacobo just looking a bit shaky right now. None of his drops are really hitting like they should be. Even going to lose the medevac on the rebound. Jacobo's just not getting those hits that he needs to. He's not getting the damage on that he really needs to get done, which is really unfortunate for him. If he was able to get a couple of a good drop play coming out across the map, keep his opponent on one base, two base, and keep him on as few harvesters as possible, that really cripples mech in its ability to produce, because like I said earlier, mech is a lot of gas. If you can stop the gas production, you can stop the production a lot. Scan is going to be coming up across the other side of the field from NinjaDuckBob and try to figure out what's going on from Jacobo. And before he decides to move out, we're only seeing a 4 medevac drop coming out across the map. Right about now, it looks like that's heading straight for that third base, while the rest of the army is going to be moving on around towards that natural, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what the plan is from there. Here come the medevacs. They're going to be going straight up into the main. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with the decision to do that, but there's going to be a lot of Widow Mine shots, which are going to clean up a lot of the army. He's going to take a lot of damage from his own Widow Mines, however, because a lot of those units were right on top of this. That being said, he's going to clean up the rest of the bio army, at least, in the main base. Looks like this is just going to kind of sit here, which is just not a good thing. A scan is going to come down. Continued fire is going to come down, and Jacobo is not really reacting. He's going to take a lot of Widow Mine shots at the face, which is a little bit unfortunate. He just keeps taking those Widow Mines, which is going to whittle down his army quite a bit. Jacobo is in a very bad position right now, and NinjaDuckBob showing that bio or mine tank is, you could do it, and it works apparently. I never really thought of trying out this particular style of mech. Usually you don't see both Widow Mines and siege tanks unless you see against Zerg or something where you need the Muton defense and like Swarm Host defense. You don't normally see the two used in TVT, especially not in mech play. It's a little bit curious. We're only seeing Raven to help out with a little bit of vision, but Jacobo is going to decide to just kind of tap out, and he is going to GG. And NinjaDuckBob is going to GG, and all will be glorious. Alright guys, now is the time, as always, as we take a look at what each of these players could have done better, so that they and you can learn a bit for next time. I'm going to start with our unfortunate loser of this game, Jacobo. Jacobo was, of course, the Red Terran player, and I think the big thing that really hurt him was that he wasn't able to get out the drop play. And as a bio army, the big thing that you have over a mechanical-based army, Siege Tank, Widowmine, Thor, whatever really you want to put in there, is the advantage of mobility. You need to be across the map, and you need to be laying down drops, keeping your opponent on as little economy and as little bases and as little as units as possible, and keeping them from getting that big scary army. So I think that's really where he failed here. He did a pretty decent job at spending. Of course, his gas could be a little bit better. He expanded a little bit later, but TVT normally does expand a little bit later, so I'm not all that worried about that. NinjaDuckBob are going to be our victor for this game. What I'd like to say about him, obviously spending could have been a little bit better here, but most of the time at the end of the game you're not really be focusing on that anyways. Good composition, a surprising composition that I didn't really think was ever going to work. Siege Tank Widowmine isn't, of course, like I said earlier, something that you normally think about using. I definitely like the composition. The Widowmines were just terrifying. What I would probably suggest is try to get maybe upgrades on these units, possibly. That might help out a little bit, like maybe grab a plating so that Widowmines can survive a little bit more. But in general, they were doing pretty darn good. Okay guys, I do think that will be it for this one. Before I go, a few real quick announcements. If you like this cast, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. If you'd like to get your game casted by me, you can send a replay on over to ZookaMan900@gmail.com, or if you'd like to just get a replay casted, or just want to look for a place where there's a lot of replays casted with other casters and stuff, check out the subreddit Castit. Little bit of another tidbit in here for you guys. There is going to be a little bit of changing for my schedule to encompass things. I'm going to try to get a little bit more replays out daily. And for those of you who are YouTube watchers as well as my Twitch watchers, I'm going to be down on 1 day a week for that. I'm going to be doing Saturdays at 7:30 Central start time as opposed to Saturday and Sundays, because I'm going to try to focus on getting some other content out that doesn't involve StarCraft on my Twitch throughout the week, and we'll try to get these casts out to you guys as much as I possibly can. The plan is to still keep the Monday through Thursday schedule and try to get one out for each. Obviously, that's not working out so well this week, but we'll get into it with the following week, and hopefully we can get that all sorted out and get back into the habit, because I took a wide break there when my microphone was coming in. I was trying to get it to work the way I wanted to, and yada yada yada. Alright guys, I believe that's going to be it. So this is ZookaMan. We'll see you on the next cast. Take care guys.